Imagine spending 15 years at the highest level of professional football, scoring more goals than almost anyone in the history of the sport, breaking record after record, being one of the most consistently excellent performers in the Premier League for over a decade, and winning nothing, no trophy, no title, no cup, just goals, extraordinary, relentless, historic goals, and an empty cabinet. Most people in that situation break. They become bitter. They question their choices. They let the absence of external validation quietly erode the internal belief that got them there. Harry Kane did none of those things. He just kept scoring. And then at 31 years old, he finally won his first major trophy and said, "Whether I finish with 1 trophy or 20 trophies, I don't think it will change my mindset." That sentence, from someone who waited 15 years, is the most psychologically powerful thing I have heard from any athlete on this channel. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to PsyWealth Richie. Today we are covering someone whose story I think is one of the most underrated psychology lessons in world football. Harry Kane. Not the goals, the mind. The specific quality of psychological resilience that allows a person to keep performing at the absolute highest level for 15 years without the external validation that most people believe is necessary for sustained motivation. If you are new here, subscribe. Now let's get into it. Harry Edward Kane was born on July 28, 1993, in Walthamstow, London. He joined Tottenham Hotspur's academy at age 11. He went on multiple loan spells to Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich City, Leicester City, with many people questioning whether he would ever make it at the highest level. He came back to Spurs, worked, kept working, and became their all-time leading scorer. England's all-time leading scorer with 78 international goals. One of the most prolific strikers in Premier League history. And for most of his career at Spurs, he did all of that without winning a single major trophy. Tottenham famously went decades without silverware. And Kane, their greatest ever player, was at the center of that painful absence. Until 2023 when he moved to Bayern Munich, and until the 2024-25 season, when under Vincent Kompany's merciless winning mentality, he finally lifted the Bundesliga title at 31. After 15 years of waiting, here is the question that I think most people never seriously ask about Harry Kane. How do you keep performing at an extraordinary level for 15 years without the external reward that most people believe is the point of the performance? Because trophies are not just objects. They are psychological confirmation. They tell you what you are doing matters. What you are sacrificing is worth it. The effort is producing something permanent and real. Most athletes consciously or not use trophies as psychological fuel. The desire to win one drives the daily work. The absence of one creates doubt. Kane spent 15 years without that fuel. And yet the goals kept coming, season after season, record after record. The performance never dropped, never became bitter, never became self-protective or cautious, in the way that prolonged disappointment typically produces. And the reason, the psychological reason, is something he said directly. He said, rather than seeking validation externally, I'm motivated by internal benchmarks. Being a better player, a better teammate, a better person. That internal orientation, that complete shift of the motivational source from external reward to internal standard, is the psychological foundation of everything Kane has ever produced. Kane said, it is okay to be the underdog. Use it as fuel to prove everyone wrong. That statement from someone who spent years on loan spells with people questioning whether he was good enough carries real weight. Because being the underdog is a specific psychological position that most people handle badly. They either collapse under the pressure of low expectations, internalizing the doubt and performing at the level others predicted, or they become so consumed by the desire to prove people wrong that their motivation becomes reactive, driven by what others think rather than what they actually want. Kane found a third way. He used the underdog status as fuel, but fuel for his own internal standards, rather than for external revenge. He was not proving people wrong. He was proving himself right, and that distinction between performing to satisfy your own internal benchmark versus performing to silence external critics is one of the most important psychological differences in elite sport. Here is something about Harry Kane that I deeply respect and that I think deserves far more attention than it typically receives. He said, "I have always believed that mental health is just as important as physical health. Building resilience has helped me throughout my life on and off the pitch." He said that in the context of launching a life skills program through his foundation, partnering with mental health innovations to create free digital learning tools for young people covering resilience, growth mindset, and anxiety. That is not a celebrity endorsing a charity for publicity. That is a man who genuinely understands, from personal experience, that the psychological work is as important as the physical work, and who chose to use his platform to make that understanding accessible to young people who might not otherwise encounter it. Kane also collaborated with England teammate Alessia Russo on World Mental Health Day 2025. He asked her, "If you could go back and speak to your younger self during a difficult setback, what is the most crucial piece of advice you would give?" That question, asked publicly in the context of mental health awareness, reveals something about Kane's character that no goal tally ever could. He is someone who has done the internal work and who believes that work is worth sharing. Here is something about Kane's evolution at Bayern Munich that I find psychologically fascinating. He described his first phone call with new manager Vincent Kompany when he took over at Bayern. He said, "Even then he told me that we would be merciless with all our opponents." And then Kane said, "It is the mentality that the coach brought here. If we are one goal ahead, we go for the second. If we are three ahead, we go for the fourth. That is our mindset, that merciless winning mentality, that refusal to protect, a lead, or to be satisfied with enough, is the collective psychological environment that finally produced the trophy Kane had been waiting for. And it reveals something important about the relationship between individual mindset and team culture. Kane's individual psychology had always been extraordinary, but the environment around him at Spurs, the culture of nearly good enough, was not producing the collective belief that championship teams require. At Bayern under Kompany, surrounded by a culture of merciless pursuit of the next goal, regardless of the current score, his individual excellence finally found the collective environment it deserved. And now I want to speak directly to you, because I think Harry Kane's story carries something that every single person watching this genuinely needs to hear. Most of us are in some version of the trophyless phase, working hard, performing consistently, doing the right things, and not yet seeing the external confirmation that the effort is producing something real. And in that phase, the doubt creeps in. The questions start. Is this worth it? Am I doing enough? Am I ever going to get there? And the answer to those questions, if you take Harry Kane's psychology seriously, is to stop asking them. Not because the questions are wrong, but because the answers are in the wrong place. The confirmation you are looking for from the outside is not going to come on your timeline. It will come when the right environment aligns with the right effort. It came for Kane at 31, after 15 years, and when it did, he said it wouldn't change his mindset, because his mindset was never dependent on it arriving. Build your internal benchmarks. Define your own standards. Measure yourself against who you were yesterday, not against what the external world has or hasn't given you yet. And use the underdog status, the years without the trophy, the seasons without the recognition, as fuel for your own internal standard, not revenge against the people who doubted you. Prove to yourself that you were right to keep going. Tough times don't last. Keep going anyway. Harry Kane spent 15 years scoring extraordinary goals for teams that never won trophies. And he never broke, never became bitter, never let the absence of external validation erode the internal standard that produced the goals in the first place. And then at 31, in a new country, under a merciless new manager, in a culture built around going for the fourth goal when you are already 3 ahead, he finally lifted the trophy and said it wouldn't change his mindset, because his mindset was never about the trophy. It was about the internal benchmark, the daily standard The quiet, relentless pursuit of being better today than he was yesterday. That is the Unbreakable Psychology, and it is available to every single person watching this who is still in their own trophyless phase. Keep going. The environment will catch up to the effort. It always does. Subscribe to PsyWealth Richie. Share this with someone who needs to hear that. 15 years of waiting is not failure, it is foundation. We will see you in the next one.